Faith, journeys, adventure, and optimism are all themes of Sagittarius season. This season is going to require us to stretch our minds and gain a higher level of knowledge so that we can fortify our faith, think big, and make big plans for the future. While this journey may not be easy, it will be worth it in the end. Are you ready to embark on this journey? All right, let's go. What's up, everybody? I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. As always, my name is Mel and welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Works. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, and spirituality. So if those are the things that interest you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, everyone, happy Sagittarius season. We made it. Scorpio season seemed endless. It seemed like it lasted an eternity. And finally, we are out of the woods. We have traversed the underworld and now we are reascending and rising again. So this video is going to be a little different. I've been guided to switch up the format a bit and I think you guys will enjoy it. So first I'm going to get into, the channeled message of Sagittarius season in general, and then we're going to move on to the tarot, and this time we're going to do pick a card. I have to be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of pick a card, but Spirit told me that this would be the best way to convey the messages to the collective this month, so that's what we're going to do. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so Sagittarius season. I really love Sagittarius season, not only because it kicks off the holiday season, right? We've got Thanksgiving, which is the precursor to Christmas and New Year's and all of that good stuff. But Sagittarius season is very much about optimism and it's about positivity. It's so broad and expansive and eye-opening that it makes Sagittarius season very enjoyable. And there's so much to learn and so much to experience. And that is what Spirit wants to impart on us. I mean, the message for Scorpio season was obviously very intense. It was very deep. It was really about facing a lot of things that we'd rather not. But Sagittarius season is like, it's almost as if Spirit is saying, now that you've done that hard work, now it's time to go out into the world and experience everything through this new set of eyes and this new consciousness that you have after having traversed the underworld, faced your demons, recognize certain things that need to be eradicated from your life so you can now re-emerge anew. And it's interesting because I find that I never really have to really just sit down and say, okay, Spirit, give me a message for this video or give me a message for this particular season or for the collective. It's like it just happens. And last week, I was drawn to the story of the Odyssey. I am a Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. I actually took some courses in college on Greek mythology. And they have this series on Amazon Prime Video, which is all about, Greek mythology, and it tells the story, but it's like a cartoon, not like a really cheesy little kids cartoon, but it's a cartoon that really helps you understand these myths. And they had this new season that I think came out last week, and it was the Odyssey. And I remember reading the book in high school, and I was like, I wasn't really interested back then. And it seemed like it was way over my head. But I was like, you know what, maybe let me watch this. Something told me to sit and watch this and see if it made sense. And not only did it make sense, but it's like Spirit was like, this is the message for Sagittarius season. And in a nutshell, the Odyssey is all about a journey, but it's a journey that is focused on your relation to spirit and faith. Long story short, Ulysses is the main character of the Odyssey, and he had been far away from home fighting this war called the Trojan War for about 10 years. His side won, and once the war was over, he was set to sail home. Now, back then, obviously, everything was done by boat, so him sailing home could have probably taken at most like a month, right? But the journey from where he was to his home took 10 years. And the reason being is because this war was in his eyes, was very unnecessary. And he felt like people had been killed needlessly, and this war really didn't gain anything for anyone, even though he was on the winning team. And he felt like the gods were not there, like they were absent from everything. Like the gods let this needless war happen, right? And the gods, the Greek gods back then being Zeus, Aphrodite, Ares, Apollo, Athena, all of them, all that cast of characters. And he was like, well, I feel like we really were out here alone, fighting this war, killing people, doing all of this tragic shit, and the gods weren't there. We didn't win by virtue of the gods. We won by virtue of ourselves. So the gods really aren't necessary. It's the will of man that is most important. And that is what we should put our faith in. And the gods didn't like that. The gods were like, he has this crazy idea that gods are not necessary, right? And we don't need that idea spreading to everyone else, because if everyone else catches on to this idea that gods are not necessary and that it's the will of man in which people should put their faith, then there's not going to be a purpose for us. And if there's no purpose for us, we're going to go unattended, we're not going to get attention, and we're going to fade away. So what they did was, rather than allow Ulysses to sail home straight away and make it home within a month, they put all of these obstacles in his way, which made his trip about 10 years. And in doing so, they felt like if they gave him all of these obstacles, then he would have no choice but to pray to the gods, ask them for help. And when they intervened and helped him, he would say, wow, the gods really do help us. They really are necessary in our lives. Long story short, he goes through all of these crazy situations where he has to rely on his own knowledge, his own cleverness. He has to defeat monsters and, see his crewmen die. And he goes through this whole adventure. Eventually he makes it home, but his faith in the gods it's not really restored. Despite the fact that the gods made themselves present along this journey, he still wasn't really convinced that mankind needed them. And I felt like this was so appropriate for Sagittarius season, because Sagittarius rules travel, particularly long distance travel. But it also rules things like religion and philosophy, ideas and knowledge that is well outside of what we are normally used to. It's higher level knowledge, right? And that's exactly what the Odyssey touches upon. And it touches upon the issue of faith and where you place your faith. Now, I can't tell you should place your faith in God or in deities or in yourself only. That's for you to decide. But in order to figure that out, you have to embark on this journey. You have to sort of travel far from where you are in order to experience things that will give you that knowledge in order to make that decision. Being that Sagittarius is a mutable sign, mutable signs are all about adaptivity, being flexible, and sort of rolling with the punches. And mutable signs learn best from experiencing things. It's not just about reading things in a book or even listening to what someone else is saying to you. It's about going out there and experiencing things. And Sagittarius is definitely not an exception to that. We all experience journeys in our life, and it's not necessarily a physical journey overseas or anything like that. Sometimes it's a journey in, how we think or in what we believe. And we've already undergone a journey during Scorpio season. I don't need to talk about that because I talked about that at length in my November monthly videos. But Sagittarius is about taking what we've learned during Scorpio season and now going out into the world and experiencing things. It's embarking on an adventure that will give us a sense of knowledge that's not just about what we're comfortable with or what we already know. It's about experiencing different things and gaining faith through the experiences that we experience. Sagittarius season is also marked by this feeling of optimism and hope, and thinking big and making big plans, knowing and having the faith that they will come to fruition. Faith is a huge issue for Sagittarius season, particularly now in the times in which we are living. With all of this chaos going on and fear-mongering and energy shifts, where is it that your faith lies? Do you know? Maybe you do know, but because of what's been going on, maybe your faith has been rocked. Maybe your faith has been tested in a way that is changing forever. But it's only through going through those experiences that you're going to be able to strengthen your faith. But this is not a doom and gloom kind of journey. It's not like Scorpio season at all. This is reaching for the stars. This is broadening your horizons. This is experiencing things that are outside of your comfort zone in order to learn through experience. And so, to the extent that you can during Sagittarius season, experience things. Go on adventures. Don't be afraid if things in your life start deviating very drastically from what you're used to. That is Spirit's way of showing you something different in order to expand your knowledge and to strengthen your faith and optimism. Now is not the time to be down on yourself or down on your situations. Now is the time to look to the stars, expand, and be hopeful. So Sagittarius season is always pretty cool for that particular reason. Let's see if there's anything else. That's pretty much it. I mean, I can't stress enough this idea of, Sagittarius is also about things that are foreign to you, right? Again, it's this theory, it's this idea of experiencing things that are very different. And I want to explain the difference between Sagittarius and Gemini because they are on the same axis. And both of these signs, right? They're exactly opposite from each other. And these are the signs in which we are experiencing the eclipses. Last month on the 30th, well, actually it's still this month because I'm filming this in November, but coming up on the 30th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. And then in December 14th, we are going to have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. So these two, this is the axis that we are experiencing now, not just with the eclipses, but also with the nodes. We have the North Node in Gemini, and we've got the South Node in Sagittarius. And I think I'll do a separate video on the nodes so that you guys can really understand what that means and understand how these two nodes in particular are playing out for us. But this axis of Gemini and Sagittarius is what's sort of at the forefront right now. And both of these signs are concerned with knowledge and education, but in two very different ways. Gemini, on the one hand, is about technical skills and knowledge, basically that is, it would be considered like lower education knowledge, like grade school and things like that, but also things that are very technical and specialized. So if you're talking about specialized skills, let's say you're talking about neurosurgery, right? That in and of itself would be a Gemini sort of knowledge and education, whereas Sagittarius is about higher level education. So that would be like similar to college, university, doctorate, those kind of things. And rather than being super specialized, Sagittarian energy is really about broad, overarching themes such as philosophy, religion, law. It's these broader notions and broader levels of knowledge that Sagittarius is concerned with. And during Sagittarius season, it's like we are being called to stretch our minds, and we're being called to experience things that add to our collective database of information, not just of specialized skills like in Gemini, but of broad overarching things in Sagittarius. And one of the ways to obtain that knowledge is to actually go out and experience those things. Sagittarius is all about sort of collecting information. It's almost like you have a passport, right? And everywhere you go, you get a stamp. And once your book is full and you're able to look back on it, you can remember, okay, I went to Mexico, I went to Russia, I went to New Zealand, and remember all of these experiences that you had and the things that you learned from those experiences. That is the essence of Sagittarius season. It's a great time to be out there. It's a great time to think big. It's a great time to have to make long-lasting plans, big plans for your life. It's a great positive season, and trust and believe that we all need this after this Scorpio season that we've just been through. So long story short, collective, this season, which lasted from November 21st until December 21st or 22nd, I can't remember, your job is to go out there and explore. Explore, collect as much information and experiences as you can. Be optimistic and figure out where your faith lies. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages we've got for Sagittarius season. For those of you who picked pile 1, this message is for you. All right. We start out with time to go. Look at that. Doesn't this basically embodies what I was saying before. It's time to embark on this journey. 4 and 5 make 9. So some of you are experiencing the ending of a cycle, and now it is time to leave. It is time to move from where you are. And I don't mean necessarily physically. For some of you, I'm hearing it could be physically. But for majority of you, it's moving your mind and perhaps even your emotions away from a particular situation. And notice that you can't really see. You see that there's a doorway, but there's a lot of fog. It's like you're not too clear exactly on where you're headed and what's behind that door, but you just know that it's time to go. And then we have abundance. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Some of you are leaving this situation because it wasn't where your abundance lies. I feel like whatever you're leaving was definitely a situation of lack. Whether it was lack of resources, whether it was a lack of love, whether it was a lack of knowledge, wherever you were, was someplace where abundance couldn't live. It couldn't coexist where you were. And so now it's time for you to go. It's time for you to embark on this journey where now you are going to be able to experience abundance. Whatever is behind this door, and again, you don't really know, but whatever's behind this door is directly related to abundance. You might want to check out your chart and see which house Sagittarius is for you, because that may be where your abundance lies. All right, next we have patience. All right. Some of you are looking to create something. Sagittarius is very much a creative sign. Being that it has to do with faith and optimism and thinking big, there is this element of creativity that comes along with Sagittarius. And a lot of you are leaving whatever situation or whatever mindset you were in order to create abundance. But you need to have patience with yourself, because this journey is not something that's going to happen in a day. I also feel like you perceive this journey to be relatively short, right? Because you see where this woman is in relation to the door. But I feel like this journey is a bit longer than you anticipate. And you are meant to have patience, particularly with your ability to create abundance. I'm hearing that once you leave what this mindset or situation that you're currently in, it's going to take a while for your abundance to show up. It's almost like you're going to be in the creation phase, and then you can't expect to plant the seed and eat the fruit on the same day. So you have to have patience with yourself so that you are not disappointed, and that you don't like inject negative energy into whatever it is that you're trying to create. Meaning that because you start working, right, and you don't see the results and you're like, this isn't going to work. I feel like that is going to inject negative energy. I keep saying entity. Some of you, by doing that, some of you may allow some sort of negative entity to enter whatever it is that you're creating. And by doing that, you're not going to experience this abundance. What you need to do is get creative, start creating, and then be patient with yourself. Pace yourself and take time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're ready. This is indicative of like new life. You're ready to leave whatever situation that you were in. Some of you have been there for a long time, I'm hearing. And it was just, I'm hearing complacency. You were complacent with where you were. Even though you knew that not only was it not where you were meant to be, but you also realized that it wasn't aligning with what it is that you really want. This is what you guys want, right? Those of you who picked this pile, this is what you want. But you were complacent where you were because it was comfortable. You had been there for a while, that sort of thing. But now is the time where you're ready. Now is the time where you are ready to embark on this journey of abundance and leave all of those things associated with lack behind you. You may not know where you're going, but you know that you got to leave where you are. All right. Six of Wands. I like this. This is energy of victory. I feel like whatever abundance you guys are going to create is very, it's going to set you up nicely. Obviously, it's going to be a positive result, but it's also going to have you sitting pretty. Like there's this, some of you, I'm getting like some of you may be creatives, like musicians or performers. And I feel like whatever you're getting ready to create is really going to like make you well known or popular or all eyes on you. You see, it's like this person is being celebrated. Whatever you're creating is going to be celebrated. And like you guys are very fertile, very fertile. And I mean that in the sense of your creativity. I don't believe that it has to do with children. I feel like you are fertile to create whatever it is that you want in this life. Like you're not limited. You have fertile soil in which to plant these new seeds, but you have to embark on this journey. And a lot of you are going to be embarking on this journey alone. I'm hearing that some of you that were paired up with someone, that is going to end. And it's like you're going to move forward by yourself. We've got the 10 of Wands. Yeah, a lot of you were in a very it was a stifling situation. See, the 10 of Wands, this guy is trying to get someplace. But with all of these wands on his back, it's hard for him to move fast. It's hard for him to move at a steady pace because he's got all this weight on his back. And I feel like that's the situation that you guys are leaving. You were able to move forward, but not in the way that you could have in order to achieve your abundance. There was something that was weighing you down. And it's almost like someone's spirit, meaning that someone who was close to you, maybe you're paired up with someone, maybe it's just the people around you, right? It's almost like you're hanging out with a whole bunch of negative people. You're hanging out with a bunch of people that maybe are not really that ambitious, or maybe people who just lack the consciousness to think better for themselves. And that is what was weighing you down. That was sort of keeping you from your abundance. It's not that you weren't making strides. It's like you're taking on all these people's energy and you're carrying it on your back. And I feel like you're going to this season, this Sagittarius season, I feel like you guys are finally going to drop those wands. And you're going to be able to move faster. That's why you're able to embark on this journey, because you're separating yourself from people who have a lack mentality, negative mentality, people that maybe gossip all the time, that aren't ambitious, that complain all the time, people who are just not of an abundance mindset. You're going to drop that, and that's what's going to allow you to embark on this journey towards abundance by yourself. And then finally, we have the 5 of Wands. Interesting. So I want you to know that in doing this, right, in separating yourself from those people, places, or things that have that negative energy attached to them, know that certain people are not going to like it. You're going to be met with opposition. I feel like some people might even try to throw like a monkey wrench at you to get you to stay. So I really want you to be mindful of how people react when you start distancing yourself from them. Because some people are really going to be like, yo, it's almost like they know that they can't manifest abundance for themselves. So they want to stop you from being able to manifest abundance for yourself. So you really got to stay vigilant, and you really have to do your best to avoid these people. Do your best to distance yourself from them. And this could be people, places, or things. It doesn't necessarily have to be just a group of people. But know that you'll be met with opposition. But that's fine. That's to be expected. Don't let it deter you from embarking on your journey. And don't let it deter you from manifesting the abundance that you know that you can. You know that you can. You've just been around the wrong people or been in the wrong place to do so. It's time to let go. It's time for you to go move on and create the abundance that you've always wanted to create in your life. All right, moving right along. For those of you who picked pile number 2, this message is for you. All right, first card out we have is flexible. Wasn't I just talking about this in the first part of the video? Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and it's all about flexibility and adaptability. So this season, you guys that picked pile number 2, it's all about being flexible and adaptable because things are rapidly shifting. I mean, that's nothing new. If you've had your eyes open and have been alive during 2020, you realize that you got to roll with the punches because things change rapidly. There's a whole bunch of energy shifts. But yeah, you guys have to remain flexible, adaptable. You have to embody that mutable energy this season. All right. Next, we have indecision. It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. I'm hearing stuck. So some of you are incapable of being flexible because there's a decision that you are not making. Indecision will keep you stuck. It won't allow you to move forward. It won't allow you to progress. And here it's saying that you need to use your intuition in order to become unstuck. Okay. Next, we've got love partnership. All right, so clearly this has to do with a love partnership. And I'm seeing that it's a partnership that you've been in for a while. There's a certain decision that either you or your partner is not taking. And I feel like for some of you, it has to do with money. There's a decision that like you want to take or you want your partner to take, but they can't necessarily take it because there's like a lack of funding, or because things have shifted so much. I'm hearing like they don't want to. Okay, let's say you're engaged, right? And you are trying to decide when you're going to get married, what type of wedding you're going to have, like all of that stuff. Either you or your partner is like dragging their feet with respect to either setting a date or solidifying anything, because they're like, with the way everything is right now, like I don't know how much money I'm going to have. I don't know if I'm going to have money tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have money next week. So I'd rather not like solidify anything or plan anything right now, right? And I feel like for some of you, I'm hearing like someone is like super annoyed at this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage situation, but it's something in a love relationship regarding money where you feel like there isn't enough. You don't want to make any plans. You don't want to make any moves, right? You're not trying to be flexible, because you're just like, I don't know if I'm going to have money tomorrow. I don't want to spend this money and then God forbid I lose my job and I don't have, whatever. You get what I'm saying. But there's something about doing things in a different way, right? Sagittarius is all about different. It's all about things that are foreign to you. You're asked to be flexible right now because there's more than one way to do something. There's more than one way to get something done, and you need to be flexible. You have to be flexible in your mind. Some of you are stuck. Either you or your partner are stuck thinking a certain way. Things have to go like this. Sagittarius season is asking that you stretch your mind and look at things from a different perspective so that you can get past this block of indecision. Look at this. Can't even make this up. What does this say? Get more information. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And it's like you have to take that journey, right? Everything I was talking about, taking a journey and embarking upon a journey during Sagittarius season, it's all to stretch your mind and to gain more knowledge. When it comes to funding, when it comes to money, when it comes to the material things that we need in this life, there's more than one way to get it. There's more than one way to secure the bag. You've got to go in search of this knowledge. Some of you actually need to, it's almost like some of you may need to learn a new way of thinking. Maybe it's analytical thinking. Maybe it's optimistic thinking. But some of you in this situation need to learn a new way of thinking in order to get more information so that you can get past this roadblock. It's like indecision is like a cross, right? And you're stuck at the center. You can't go left. You can't go right. You're just stuck. Getting more information and stretching your mind is going to alleviate that, right? And now you can make a decision. You're clear on what's left, what's right, and make a move either way. So some of y'all really need to get more information. 7 of Swords. Interesting. This is like almost like by any means necessary. I'm being drawn to the fox right there. And fox, obviously the connotation of a fox is that it's cunning, it's clever, it's wily. Again, it's this. There's more than one way to skin a cat. A fox is not a cat. I know that, but that's just what I'm hearing right now. Your mind's got to be flexible. You can't be stuck in your ways when it comes to thinking. And this is all in relation to a love partnership. This is all in relation to some sort of romantic partnership. I feel like this is more so for people who are in a very committed relationship. That's what I'm getting. But when it comes to making a decision about something, y'all have to be clever. I'm going to take it back to the story of the Odyssey and the main character, Ulysses. When he was on this 10-year journey for him to get back home, in order to overcome those obstacles that he faced, and those obstacles included monsters, mostly monsters actually, sorcery, all of these things that he faced, he had to use his own cleverness, his own wit, his own cunning in order to overcome them. And that's exactly what you guys need to do during the Sagittarius season. Y'all have to switch up how you think. Y'all got to get a little clever in order to get your desired result, or at least to make a decision. Next, we have the High Priestess. Intuition. What did I say before about this indecision? It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. It's more than just relying on your thoughts. It's about relying on your intuition. Your intuition is going to help you not only decide which way to go, but it's going to help you stretch your mind, because you're not just limited by your thoughts. Your intuition is your soul, and it's connected to the cosmos. It's connected to God and source. When you tap into that, honey, there is no limit whatsoever. That's why you're being called on to use your intuition, because that is the way that you're going to be able to get past this block of indecision. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Like I said, there's this number. You guys got the love partnership. This is a number 8, right? It's 2 and 6 make 8. And with this Eight of Pentacles here, this has to do with a money situation, a work situation. Some of you are feeling like, especially if you work for yourself, is there going to be enough work coming in? Is there going to be enough money coming in? I may want to move in with my partner. I may want to get engaged, buy my partner a ring, or vice versa. We may want to get married. We may want to move and buy a home together. All of these things I feel like is what is happening in this scenario. And it's what's making you guys feel like, I can't do it. Things are so crazy. The economy is so crazy. I don't know if I'm going to have the money. I don't know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow. Stop. That's what's keeping you stuck. Use your intuition and your cunning and cleverness. That is what's going to help you get unstuck. And that's going to help you get what you want. It's not just about being limited by what you already know. Sagittarius season is about higher level knowledge gained through experience. Get out there and see what you can get your hands into that's different than what you've normally been doing. That is the key to being unstuck and getting to where you need to be. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have pile 3. So those of you that picked pile 3, this message is for you. First card out is All That Glitters. And you know the saying, all that glitters ain't gold. So there is a certain truth that you guys have just recently embarked upon. If it isn't that you guys have recently found something out, I feel like the journey for you this Sagittarius season is going to be about finding the truth. See how these masks are off and you see spirit personified in the back of this card? Some of you are on a quest for truth. Some of you, it has to do with your faith. It has to do with your religion, your philosophy, your outlook on life, particularly as it pertains to your spirituality. So a lot of you are seeking truth or have just been exposed to the truth. Perhaps having going through the underworld during Scorpio season, now it's like those rose-colored glasses came off and now you're seeing what's what. But let's pull some more cards and see what else we have here. Yeah, we have doubt. So you guys are having a faith issue. I release the need to know all the answers. Isn't this the essence of faith? Faith is taking that step when you can't even see. It's like going down the staircase and taking that step, even though you cannot see the step underneath. It's taking a shot in the dark. It is jumping off that cliff, knowing that you will learn how to fly on the way down. A lot of you are having doubts. Some of you felt like your need to know the answers to everything has allowed you to entertain things that aren't necessarily true. And what do I mean by this? It's like, if you, I don't know how else to explain it, but you know, I had a spiritual mentor at a certain point, and it was like, you know, when you go and get readings, it's like you want to know the answers, right? But there's many times where readers are purposely not shown all of the answers, because there's a lot of things that we're just not meant to know. You just have to step out on faith, right? But if you are someone who constantly needs to know the answers, let's say you constantly get readings, you constantly need to know the answers, at a certain point in time, either the reader or spirit, they're just going to almost feed you lies in order to satisfy your need to know the truth. Rather than saying, listen, I don't know, or maybe you need to just let spirit handle it, they're going to tell you, oh yeah, do this, do that, because all you want is the truth. You just want to know things. And that's not how faith works. Faith works by taking a chance, by allowing spirit, allowing God into your life to work. But some of you have been having doubts with that. I feel like your faith has been tested recently. And it's left you in this place of what's real, what's not, where do I place my faith? This is exactly what I was saying in the beginning part of the video. Sagittarius season is all about figuring out, for you who chose pile number 3, where do you place your faith? Okay. Spiritual career. I cannot make this up. 7 and 8 make 15. 15 reduces to a 6. So again, this has to do with your spirituality. And Sagittarius, being that it's about optimism and faith, has a lot to do with spirituality. I don't know, for some of you, it's not that I feel like you're embarking on a spiritual career. I feel like some of you, the example I just gave before about like getting a reading, like constantly getting readings, like that's what I'm getting for some of you. Maybe some of you have been the type, like every little thing that happens, you guys want to get a reading. And let me be the first to tell you that that's not the way to go. That's not faith. There's a lot of times you just got to let spirit work. And getting readings all the time is not, it's really not that good for you, you know? But that's what I'm getting for some of you. For others of you, this is about taking some sort of role in like a religion, or, you know, a traditional, like, you know, Ifa, voodoo, whatever. Like some of you are sort of torn between embarking on that journey or not. For some of you, I feel like if you were a part of an organized religion or some sort of faith, you saw, or you I'm like tongue-tied right now. I feel like that's how you, like you guys can't even really express what it is that you want or need when it comes to this. But some of you have realized that your organized religion or whatever group that you were a part of, all that glitters ain't gold. And you started to see the truth of some things, and it made you doubt that faith or that religion. So you are embarking on a completely new spiritual journey. And some of you are having a really hard time with this because you're so used to what you know. And whatever it is that you're embarking upon is so different. And you're like, is this where I should place my faith? I was always told that this is evil, this is demonic, this is that. Am I supposed to be doing this? Like, that's where this doubt comes in. That's this serious level of doubt for you. All right. Oh. Woo! Trust. What was I just saying about faith? Faith is all about trust. It's not only trust in the Most High, it's trust in your higher self. Some of you are really going to start to learn who your higher self is. And let me tell you, honey, it is an eye-opening and a wonderful experience when you start to gain that knowledge. Your higher self is not apart from you. It is within you. Just like God, just like spirit is within you. And you need to start trusting that voice. And that voice may lead you on a journey that is very different from where you've been. But that's the point. And you need to have faith and trust. And that comes over time. Just think about how it is when you start dealing with people, right? Trust takes time to build. It's not something, some people operate from the place of they trust automatically at the beginning, and then once they start experiencing like fucked up shit, their trust diminishes. Other people take time to build up that trust. I feel like when it comes to a personal spiritual journey, it's building up that trust. It's starting to recognize and see things, and through those experiences, that's where you gain trust and faith. You have to open yourself up to these experiences and this new adventure that you are embarking upon. That's the only way that your faith is going to become strengthened, and that you're not going to have this level of doubt that sort of, I feel like it's weighing you down, almost like you have a cloud over you, and it's dampening your faith. But it's actually taking that leap. It's actually going out and experiencing what it is that is so different than what you've already known, that's going to allow you to strengthen and fortify your faith. 5 of Cups. Yeah, a lot of you are regretful about what you're leaving. Again, if you're talking about an organized religion or anything like that, this is a very big regret that a lot of us feel. It's this sadness. It's this regret. Like, am I doing the right thing? This doesn't feel right. It is an internal struggle that we all feel when we start to embark on our own personal spiritual paths and journeys. But if you notice behind him, he's got the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is love. Throughout this whole entire experience, neither God, spirit, or your higher self will leave you. You are never at this alone. Never. Queen of Wands. This is Sagittarius herself. The Queen of Wands is a mover and a shaker. This is not someone who's just sitting back and relaxing and sort of waiting for things to happen. This is someone who makes it happen and does it in a very passionate and confident kind of way. This is how you have to. This is not only telling me that this is indicative of Sagittarius season, this is also telling me that this is the energy that you have to embody on this journey. You have to be fearless. You have to be confident. You have to take action. And if you notice, there's this little dog right next to her. You are never alone. You have a loyal friend with you, and that friend is God, spirit, your higher self. Right? And then we have the Tower. All right, yeah. That old structure, it will be no longer. Trust and believe. When you go on that spiritual journey, you can't unsee what you've already seen. And that is the essence of this personal spiritual journey that you're on. Once you see the truth, you can't go back to wearing a mask. Once the mask comes off, it comes off. And this journey for truth that you are on, this journey for spiritual truth that you are on, there is hope after this. This crumbling of what you've known, what you've been accustomed to, what you've been raised in, even though it's crumbling for you, even though it's not a firm foundation upon which you can stand, there's hope after this. You just have to have what? Faith. All right, my loves, that has been the Sagittarius season reading for you guys. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed it and that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. If you would like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, I'm going to put those links down below, so don't forget to click on those and check those out. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Divine Feminine Works. Every week I do a series called The Week Ahead, where I do a quick and dirty tarot read, as well as a quick and dirty astro forecast for the upcoming week. That link is in the description box as well, so click on that and follow me there. As always, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, that link is in the description box as well. My loves, as always, it is a privilege and an honor to read for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.